Hi, welcome to GMST Solutions Private Limited Digital Learning. So in the part of how to crack full stack Java interviews, the question number 13. How to handle exceptions in Java. How to handle exceptions in Java. See, so we have different ways to handle exceptions, but so what is the causes of the exception occurring? How to convert system error message to the user friendly error message. So exception is nothing but all runtime errors is nothing but exceptions in Java. The exception generates system error message. Please watch the previous video. So you'll get to know how the exceptions occurs in Java. So from their continuation, so example we have one application. So the application have the inputs. So whenever you give the invalid input to the application, so I'm taking directly. Whenever you give invalid input to the application, you will get the invalid output. That invalid output is nothing but exception in Java. Invalid input. So you'll get the invalid output. That invalid output generates system error message means exception. So invalid output is nothing but exception in Java. So it will generate system error message. The system error message who will understood as a developer, he can understood the what is the class name and what is the root message and line number. But end user don't know what is exception, java.lang, some other index out of bounds, a null pointer, rivo exceptions, so different names. So they don't know what is the class names. So for understanding in better way, so as a developer, what you have to do, you need to convert system error message to user friendly error message. As a developer, so convert system error message to user friendly error message. Using exception handling techniques. User friendly error message. So what is exception handling techniques we have as a developer? So you have to think about the library try block. Here we can write the logic up about our services. What are the services you are implementing? So business logic inside the try block and catch block handling the exception. So what is exception occurs at try block. And finally block is not mandatory but it is recommended as a developer you have to keep. So here we can close the any objects opening database connections or file objects we will close inside the finally block. Inside the finally block we can take try catch also we can take, and throws keyword is there and throw keyword. So I will tell throws and throw clearly when we are using the user defined exceptions or custom exceptions, how to create custom exceptions. So I will tell in that section. Okay. So here, so how to handle that exception means how to convert system error message to user friendly error message using the exception handling techniques. So how you can convert. So what are the exceptions we have first? Okay. So we have the multi type of exceptions, like if we go for the errors other than programming, we have the stack overflow error, network issues or for errors, out of memory errors, different we have. So you can see this is exception hierarchy. So in this exception hierarchy, what we are going to give. So for all the exceptions, superclass is the throwable. For all of type errors and the exceptions, both handled by the throwable. So it is a superclass for the exception hierarchy. Only if you want to handle the errors, that is other than, so not related to programming, it is external by memory issues or out of memory, stack overflow errors or poll failures, OS failures, different other than programming. If you want to handle only errors, we can go for the error. If you want to handle the errors and exception, use the throwable. And most of the programmers they can able to handle and they can see the in programmatically exception type, that is either compile time exceptions or runtime exceptions. So we can call the compile time or checked exceptions are the, so it will throw at compile time but occurring at runtime only. So runtime exception nothing but occurring at runtime, throwing at runtime only. So if they ask the exceptions hierarchy for checked and unchecked or compile time runtime exception subclass is the exception class. For specifically if they are asking only runtime exception superclass is nothing but, so java.lambda runtime exception. So it will handle only runtime exception at the compile time. If you want to handle the both compile time and the runtime exceptions, we will go for the exception class. These are the subclasses for the exception class. Okay, this is a simple rough hierarchy. So how to convert now using these exception classes to user-defined error messages from the system error messages. So what will happen when exception throws, the execution flow will be terminated. Means if we have the 1,000 errors inside our program, at a time we will get the only one exception in our console, not more than once. If you resolve that, it will go for the next line because whenever it occurs a exception at runtime, so our compile time, the line number it will throws the exception is generating the exception message and terminating your execution flow of the program internally. So automatically terminate execution flow of the program. So you need to handle that exception to understand the end user, pass the valid input and get the expected output as per the requirement. Now take the simple example on either compile time exceptions or runtime exception. So using the try catch finally block, simple way. Okay. So here you can see the file not found and class not found exceptions and runtime exceptions. So both I will show. See, so I have a simple Java class inside the main method. So runtime exception nothing but syntactically everything is correct only. So now I'm taking the simple test. It is syntactically correct, but it will throws the runtime exception, arithmetic exception. See, see here I have the something you can take any name Java. So we have the 3 lines of code inside the main method. So there is no error before the line number 6, okay, or from line number 7 there is no error. After the line number 7 you have the line number 9 exception at runtime, and after that there is no errors. But when you are executing your application, whenever exception occurs it will terminate the execution flow. You won't get the next continuous execution. So you will get output is a test and exception. So, but if you want to handle that exception as per the user requirement, maybe user wants to understand what is the issue for that. So you will get the test and exception. If you want to give the user defined message, this is system error message actually. Whenever exception occurs, by default you will get the system error messages. Exception class name, Java data language arithmetic exception, message and line number. So we will understood as a developer we can understood, but end user don't know. So for understanding the end user, we have to handle this exception means convert system error message to the user defined error message, nothing but exception handling. So how we can convert? So we have to keep the problematic statement inside the try block. Problematic statements inside the try block. So exception is the superclass for all the exceptions. If you handle the exception class, by default what the subclasses is there, compile time exceptions and runtime exceptions, it will take care. But it is not correct way to handle the exception for understanding the in better application usage. So you have to go for the exception classes, subclasses, then exception class end of that. So multi catch blocks you have to take. So I'm taking the here check inputs. So you will get the only check inputs, but what is exact issue? Either username wrong or password wrong or mobile number wrong, you won't get it. So I'm changing it. So again I'm doing another exception here. Something I'm taking. So if you want to print the each and every character, so we have the caret method. Caret method expects the indexes. So we have the 0 to 3. So there is no fifth index in our string character. The length is the 4, 0 to 3 indexes. You will get the same message only. See, but it is not corrected. So what we have to do? Take the multi-catch blocks. So catch arithmetic exception. So you can take any message. So for understanding way, so cannot add by 0 and don't enter 0 for denominator. Okay, and another catch, check your string length. Okay, string index out of bounds exception. So like this we have n number of exceptions. You have to create the multi-catch blocks followed by the end of the class exception class. You have to take care end of the catch block. It will take care if you are not handling any exception here. So exception class will take care about so whatever exception occurs. Because it is super class for all the exceptions. Okay, so here check string length. Done. Now you can see. So I'm giving the invalid input. You will get the arithmetic exception. So don't enter 0 for denominator. So then you will get to know. So this is a mistake. And next you can see the string index out of bounds exception. Check string length. So length is a 4. Index starts from the 0. So we have the valid up to 3. So valid input, you will get the valid output. Okay, done. So this is a simple way to handle exceptions in Java. So converting system error message to user error messages. So like this, we have to go for the number of exceptions real time. So these are the try catch blocks. If you want to use the finally block, you can. So the finally block conclusion is if exception is there, partially try block, matching catch block, and finally block. If there is no exception, so complete try block and finally block. So always finally block will execute. If you want to stop the finally block execution, you need to call the system.exit method. Then it will stop the execution. Okay, so it is for the simple how to handle exceptions purpose. I'm giving the solution. So complete try block and finally block. If you have the exception partially try block and matching catch block and finally block. If exception is there. See. So this is the conclusion for try catch finally. These all things. And if you want to join for the live sessions, so you can join and get the more knowledge on how to apply the thoughts practically. So try block, catch block, intermediate statements, and different approaches. Okay, this is a simple question: how to handle exceptions in Java using try catch finally. The question is how to handle exceptions in Java. So thanks for watching. If you have any doubts or if you want to join, if you are interested to take the real-time expert knowledge for a career graph, if you have any issues to cover your career gap, so you can join. Or if you want to upgrade your skills, so you can join our live sessions. So we have the remote classes, means online sessions, or even we have the offline. Both we can provide. Thank you for watching. Thank you. So next question, how to deal with unknown exceptions. So we'll see the example.